Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Stephanie with Lumeria Star, and in today's video we are going to just take a look, or I'm going to take a look and kind of like just reflect on the decks I worked with for the month of August. What worked, what didn't, what I loved, maybe what I didn't love as much. And I actually have a few decks that are new this month. So I did this is the first month all year that I have some new decks in my no buy year, and I did break that for a few, so we're just gonna get into it. So yeah, let's just start. This was the first deck that I broke my no buy year for. This is the Tarot of Aphrodite. This is by Natasha Fromm. So this was a Kickstarter deck that I backed, and I backed this primarily because Aphrodite is a goddess that I do work with. So I was really curious about like what this deck could offer me, and perhaps it could just be a deck specifically that I work with when I'm working with Aphrodite or trying to channel that energy. So these are the beautiful backs. It's gilded in this kind of, I don't know if you can tell in this lighting, but it's kind of like a soft rose gold. And yeah, this deck is awesome. It's all, let's see, how does she describe it as? So it's just a curation of artwork that she has taken and kind of fit to the standard tarot structure. We have these really pretty pink borders. Normally I would hate borders, but they're pink and they work, so I love them. It has such Aphrodite, love, beauty, Venus, Empress energy in my opinion. So I just love this deck. I'm still figuring out how I want to use it. Like I was just using it for like everyday readings for the month of August, and I'm trying to decide if this is a deck I'm just gonna kind of like an everyday deck, or if it's a deck I want to use maybe specifically for Aphrodite work. Maybe it's for self-love work. Maybe it's a deck I also use for like love and romance readings. So I'm still figuring that part out, but it is just a great all-around reader so far, and I've just been really enjoying the artwork. It's all really, really beautiful. There are some cards that are renamed. Let me see. I know I might have already passed it, but the Fool is renamed the Birth. Let's see if I can find any others. There's only a couple that are renamed, and of course I probably won't find them now. Okay, so the Empress is Aphrodite, which I love. You all know I love the Empress archetype, so I love that the Empress is Aphrodite. That really works for me. And is there any others that are renamed? I want to say the Magician is maybe the Priestess. Maybe I'm making that up. No, I'm making that up because that's the Magician. So maybe those are the only ones. Oh no, the Emperor. Did I pass the Emperor? I believe the Emperor was Aries. Of course now I can't find it. Yeah, the Emperor is Aries. So I just love this deck. I already saw that the creator is creating a second edition, and she's already updating some artwork. So I'm like, oh man, do I need that? Because she's updating the guidebook. This is the black and white book that it comes with, and it's nice. But really what it is, it's not even a guidebook, it's an art guide. So it just tells you what the card is, like the artist and the painting for each card, which is awesome. But like I would have loved to have a guidebook written with maybe like either why she chose that artwork, or maybe like some kind of Aphrodite reference. So I think she said she's doing that for the second edition. If she does, I'm probably gonna have to back that one. I'm gonna be honest with myself. But either way, I do love this. Let me know if you all would like a full walkthrough of this. I know I kind of did that really fast, and I haven't done like a separate walkthrough video of this deck specifically, but just let me know. I can do that. So leave it in the comments below if you'd like that. When I backed this on Kickstarter, I decided to just throw in one of those little extra add-ons. So this is also from the same creator, Natasha Fromm. This is Musings of Aphrodite. This is an oracle deck, And the reason I got this, well, aside from the fact that it was like kind of a simple add-on, and I was like, oh, I might as well. I've been really wanting the Romance Angels Oracle, the Doreen Virtue, like out of print one, and they're going for like hundreds of dollars. Like, I'm not gonna pay those prices. So, and I really wanted it for like love readings. Like, I have a lot of clients who want either like love readings, self-love readings, and I wanted something like that. So I got this with a hunch that like maybe that could serve this purpose. So I haven't really used this deck for that yet. I was using this paired with the Tarot Aphrodite, and it was really nice. So I'm still not fully sure how I'm going to use this deck, and I've only used it, you know, a handful of times. It basically has, you know, an art image, it's got a title, and the full message is on the card, so no guidebook is needed. Yeah, it's nice. It's kind of just like a little one-hit message. It can definitely be used for love, whether romantic love, self-love, things like that. So from what I've seen so far, I do enjoy working with this, and I will continue to work with it and let you guys know what I think. But this was a fun little add-on, so I'm glad I got it. And this as well also has like the, has additional cards to let you know the original artwork, you know, how to use your deck, and a simple 3-card spread. So those are 2 decks that I started to work with in August, and I'm so glad I did. You know, the whole no buy thing, I wasn't going to be super strict with myself. Like, I just really wanted to limit my consumption, and if there was something I really wanted, I wasn't going to deny myself. So when I saw that deck, I was like, I'm just going to back it, and I'm really glad I did. And I'm still doing a no buy, low buy type of year. And yeah, I'm not going to beat myself up over that. So that's how I feel about that. Moving on, another deck I used this month is my Moon Baby Tarot. You all probably know this is just one of my absolute favorite decks. This is by Brant Palazzo. This is the first edition that came out in 2021. These are the pretty backs with the key, and for those of you who don't know, this is basically a reproduction of the Hoi Polloi, which is an RWS deck from the 70s that is really sought after. It's very quirky, it's very 70s in its artwork and aesthetic, and it's out of print, obviously, so it's hard to find. I actually do have a copy of that, and I love it. But I love how Brant recolorized it, made it a little bit more modern while still keeping that like quirky, funky feel of the 70s. And yeah, I am a fan of RWS when it's recolorized, and there's just a lot of really lush pinks and purples. Like, look at this Empress card, so beautiful. So this deck is just always a win for me. One of my favorites. It's RWS. I mean, what more do you want me to say? It's a classic. And the recolorized version, it just gives it a little fun and kind of like fresh twist to it. And it's one I use for client readings often. It's one that I'll take to events and things like that. So this is always such a pleasure when I pull this one out. So this was a big win per usual for the month of August. So that is the Moon Baby Tarot. Okay, so another deck I worked with is another fan favorite of mine. This is the Moon Child Tarot by Danielle Noel. I believe this one is in order right now, so I'm not going to mess up the order, and you all are probably very familiar with me talking about this deck, and just, you know, the tarot community at large talking about this deck. A lot of people love it. This is in order because, so I'm not going to take it out of order. This is in order because I did back last year the Shadow Moonchild edition, and I do have it, and I haven't done a video walkthrough yet, and I'm planning to do a side-by-side comparison. I'm sure there's probably other videos out there now that have done it, but I want to do it myself just so I can get like first impressions. I really haven't even had a chance to take a look at like what cards might be similar or different. So I thought that would be really fun. So that's why I'm keeping this deck in order right now. So I am hoping to get that video filmed today or tomorrow, so stay tuned for that video coming very soon. If you are interested in seeing the, you know, kind of compare and contrast the Moonchild Tarot with the Moonchild Shadow Edition. But yeah, this is a great deck. It's awesome. So I'm going to keep that in order. Stay tuned for that video with the Shadow Moonchild. That will be coming next. But yeah, this is one of my top 5 decks ever, hands down. Hands down. Okay, let me take a sip of my seltzer. All right, so another deck I worked with for the month of August is my She-Wolf Tarot. So this one is actually the first edition. This is one of the oldest decks I have, actually. I got this when it very first came out, and I was really just getting into tarot. So I want to say this is maybe 2016 or 17. I can't remember. It's getting old to the point where when I was using it this month, like, pages actually fell out, which is so sad. Like, the book is kind of getting a little cracked, and part of that makes me sad, and then part of me kind of likes that. It means I'm really using these things. Like, I really don't like to keep or collect just to keep things in good shape. Like, I want to use them. So needless to say, I think this deck has seen a lot of love, and it makes sense. So this deck has a beautiful rose gold finish, and yeah, this month when I was using this deck, I really wanted to rely heavily on the guidebook. I just realized, like, I don't really stop and take the time sometimes to read guidebooks. So I decided with this deck in particular this month, I was really going to read the guidebooks rather than go off of maybe like meanings I have or associations I have. And it was really great. Like, I love when I do that and I can get the creator's intentions. And I was using that for a lot of my tarot journaling this month. So that was really fun. And it just gives me like a different appreciation for a deck when I can really utilize the guidebook and really read the cards in the way that the creator intended them to, or at least get their perspective on like what was in their mind when they created this Ace of Wands. Like, I think that brings a whole other dimension to decks, especially ones that I've had for quite a while, and I can kind of see it in a different light, if that makes sense. I can deepen my relationship with it. So that's kind of what I did with this deck this month, and that was really nice. And I feel like I kind of refreshed our relationship, and I have new perspectives from this deck, and we've grown deeper. I don't know if that makes sense, like if I'm just kind of talking nonsense. I will say this one card just really bugs me. Like, I always want to flip it like this, but it's really meant to be like this, and I really don't like it. But that's one card. But yeah, I think I just love this deck. I am open to getting one of the newer versions, especially because my guidebook is kind of falling apart, but I don't think I'll ever part with this first edition deck. And did I say who the creator was? The creator is from Serpent Fire, so it's Devaney Wolf, I believe is her name. So this was a great deck to work with in August. She-Wolf Tarot. So another deck that was a really great oracle deck that paired with the She-Wolf, the Moonchild, the Tarot of Aphrodite was my Ocean Dreams Oracle. So I've probably mentioned in previous videos that I kind of struggled with this deck initially, and I think a lot of people have mentioned that in the tarot community, that people, like, it just was maybe falling a little bit flat, and it definitely was for me as well, which was, it didn't make sense why it was, because number one, I love Danielle Noel and everything that she creates, and number two, I love the ocean. I live at the beach. So I'm just like, why isn't this hitting the way I want it to hit? And I worked with this for the month of July, actually, and I decided to extend that and continue working with it in August. And I just let the deck be what it wanted to be. And rather than it be an ocean and beach deck, to me, this deck is almost like a self-love, like a self-love and healing deck. That's what I feel like the niche it was finding itself for me. Like there's even a self-love card. It just felt very healing, very soothing. I think this is a good deck to pull out if you're going through some difficult times. Again, it has that water element energy, and water is healing, water is cleansing, water, we need water to live. And I feel like the gentleness of this deck really suits like a self-love, self-worth kind of style of reading, if that's something you do and if that even makes sense. But it makes sense to me. We've got like nurture yourself, the abyss. I feel like these are all energies that we can experience when we are healing from things, when we are going through difficult times. Like we need to tap into our inner compass. We are sitting with fears, and you know, what do we do when we're in that space? We need to remember we have sovereignty over ourselves, right? So like, I think it finally clicked for me, and that's what I'm going to use this deck for. So once I realized that, I realized this deck pairs really well with the Tarot of Aphrodite, because that deck to me is a self-love, maybe romance readings, but just like love in general. And I feel like this deck also is a great deck for love readings. So I think that's the niche I'm putting this in for right now, and we'll see how it goes. But so far in the month of August, in regards to love and self-love readings, this deck was spot on. So I'm gonna keep going with it, and I'll let you know how that goes. But for anyone who's struggling with this deck, let me know in the comments below if you're one of those people, and like how you're managing that. Like, is it a no-go for you? Are you planning to rehome it, or have already rehomed it? Or, you know, can you do something like I did and just kind of like reframe how you're going to use that deck? Because once I did, it shifted things for me. So that was awesome. So yeah, I think working with this another month in a row was the game changer for me, and I'm so glad I didn't give up on this deck. I just needed to find out how to use it. So really happy about that. Okay, let's see. I have 3 more decks I want to share. So the next one is the tarot. I think on like Instagram, people are calling it like the Caitlyn Madison tarot, because that is the illustrator. This deck was actually, I gifted this to myself last year for my birthday, because it was a bit pricey. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a pricey deck. The artwork is so freaking amazing, and these cards are large. Like, let me show you. Let me pull out. So the Moon Baby Tarot is a standard size, so you can see the difference there. They are large, and normally I don't like larger cards, but this artwork, like if you take a look at it, you're going to see that it really actually needs the space. Her artwork is very bold. It's very busy. It feels powerful and potent and bohemian and punk rock. Like, it's just got, this deck has so much energy, and it needs that extra card space, in my opinion. Like, look how intricate some of this artwork is. I love this deck. If you're even remotely attracted to this art style, highly suggest. Because there's so much going on in the cards, I will say that I don't pull more than 2 with this deck. This deck for me is a 1 card pull, maybe 2, 3. I could maybe do 3, but that's pushing it. It's just got so much going on between the saturated colors and just everything that's going on in the cards. To me, it feels like too much. And that's just how I found I work with this, and that works for me. But this is just an amazing deck. Again, the artwork is incredible. I would take any of these cards and find them suitable for framing in my house. That's how much I love her artwork. Like they all look like album covers, to be honest. Just love it. So good. So yeah, this was an awesome deck to work with, and this one's not going anywhere. Not that I was doing a declutter, but I'm just happy I have this deck, and it's really just a beautiful art deck. Like even if I didn't reach for this again for whatever reason, I would keep it just as an art deck because again, the artwork is just incredible. So that's a win. Okay, last two decks. So I'll show both of them first. So I have the Midnight City Tarot. This is by Jackie Franco, and this is also by Jackie Franco. This is her new City of Dreams Oracle. So I've had this deck for a few years, and I haven't picked it up in a while. And then I saw she had a new Oracle deck come out, and I was like just instantly drawn to the color palette, the artwork. It felt just, I don't know, it just felt really positive, really uplifting. And I was like, you know what? I'm treating myself to that deck, and I'm going to use it with Midnight City Tarot because I haven't worked with it in a while. So that's exactly what I did. So let's take a look at the Midnight City Tarot. This deck is really special. I used to live, so this deck takes place in Manhattan. I didn't live in Manhattan, but I lived literally just right across the river on the New Jersey side in Hoboken, New Jersey. So I was in the city quite a lot. And I saw the skyline every single day. So this whole deck reminds me of just like my 20s and 30s. Like I lived there for a little over 10 years. So I feel like I lived city living for about a decade of my life, and just all of these scenes pull at this like nostalgic heartstring. So it kind of feels like I know we talk about like inner child, inner teenager work. I still feel like your 20s, like it has that inner teenager energy, like young adult energy, like you're really finding yourself, and I feel like we're always finding ourselves, but I feel like it hits that inner teenager-ish energy of just like me coming into my own and finding myself, and you know, starting my first jobs and living with roommates and supporting myself and going out and exploring the city and just having fun. Like that's what this deck means to me. It's just such a lighthearted, adventurous, and fun energy. And again, all the artwork is just like, it hits home with like city living, and like even down to like the titles are written as if they're like the subway signs. Like if you live in New York, you know. It's such a special deck. The colors are awesome. It's got that like 80s and 90s color palette, and the guidebook is great too. I'll show the guidebook, and like everything to her aesthetic is just like so well done. Like even in the box, her like a little QR code, like it's a little Metro card. It's just, everything about this was so thoughtfully done, and it's just so playful. Anyone who has ever lived in New York or has visited, like I think you'll get it. The guidebook is great. I do wish it fit in the box, but that's like a minor thing. And we just have a little bit about each card, and I love how she breaks it down to the vibe. So that's like the energy of the card, and then she explains the artwork, so you might not understand what you're looking at here. She even gives a location, like this fire escape is supposed to be specifically in the East Village, which I think is cool. We've got advice and reversed, and she has an equal amount for every single card, including the minors. So I just think, I appreciate that. I really do hate when guidebooks really skimp on the minors, when it's like, they're just as important, in my opinion. Like maybe they're a smaller energy, but they're just as important, and I want to know what went into the artwork, like what, you know, what did you intend to create with this? So I love that about this guidebook. So that, I kind of like reignited my love for that deck, and it helped working with the new deck. So this is the City of Dreams Oracle by the same creator. I love that it's like a clamshell box, and it's got that really lovely magnetic closure, which is so satisfying. This is a first edition, and it's a 35 card deck, which is a little small, but like I don't care, because it's just so cute. I can just show you honestly the whole deck now because it's only 35 cards. So it's literally just titles. It's very intuitive, but like, I don't know, I love it so much. The color palette really got me, and maybe because it's like Barbie summer, but like all the pinks and the pastels really got me. And we've got really simple keywords: a new day, the crossroads, everything is temporary, see you on the other side, anything is possible, candle magic, let your light shine. We've got like a Himalayan salt lamp. What goes around comes around. Enjoy the ride, the grind, community, level up, levity. And this like totally reminds me of like my old buildings that I used to live in. So it's just, it feels so nostalgic. Snow day, the in-between, the altar. Oh, these are sliding away from me. Hold on, let me get a handful of these cards. Salt bath, eyes on your own paper, projections, go your own way. I love that with the compass, and then you see like New York here, and there's New Jersey, that's where I was. What you seek is seeking you. Let go. Luck. 1111, love that card. Thrift shop magic, also love that card. The portal, this just reminds me of like every magical brunch place I've ever been to. You belong here. Sound, frequency, resonance. Beach day getaway, and celebrate your wins. So it's a small deck, but I think it's really powerful. You can just read them completely intuitively, but it does have a little cute little guidebook with like about a paragraph's worth of what the meaning is. So I think it's just enough, and it just pairs so nicely with the Midnight City Tarot. So I just feel like obviously it's the same creator, match made in heaven, so loved those together. So yeah, these were all the decks that I worked with for the month of August. Honestly, the new decks that I did invest in were huge wins, and I'm glad that I did. I'm glad I wasn't being a stickler for the no buy, because you know, I just feel like this is supposed to be fun. So I'm not here to like punish myself or, you know, feel bad if I broke the no buy. It was really just a way to kind of like hone in and be more mindful of my spending. I mean, I'm still not going crazy. I bought so these two, I bought 3 decks in the whole year of 2023, and I think that's really good, and I'm pleased with that. So yeah, this was my video of the decks I worked with for the month of August 2023, and I hope you all like this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'm still, you know, a new small channel, and would love for you to come check out my other videos. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye.